Welcome back to Bold of You to Say. We are back to talk about Ben 10. We rambled on for a little bit at first, but then we got into it. We talked about our pitch for the ideal Ben 10 movie franchise.
It went from a singular film to now we're going to make a Marvel Cinematic Universe just for Ben 10. So I hope you all enjoy that.
The first hour and a half, depending on how much I cut, is gonna be just talking about the show in general, talking a bit about the lore.
Also, we do the obligatory Star Wars.
Of course, we talk about Star Wars at a couple points because we are contractually obligated to talk about Star Wars. That is a fact. Don't bother thinking about it or looking into it. We have timestamps listed out down below, down in the description. So if you want to skip to anything, if you want to skip straight to the movie pitch, you can do that. That'll be listed out. Subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. Share with a friend. Yada yada. Leave a like if you're listening on YouTube. Leave a comment with your reaction, with anything that you would want to add to the pitch, any disagreements you have. Follow us on social media. We have our Twitter, Instagram, etc. listed out. And with that, let's just jump into it. I watched Ben 10 a lot as a small child, like one does. And you were saying the last time we talked about this that you also watched Ben 10 as a wee lad.
I watched up until the end of, I think it's Ultimate Alien, when he's a teenager.
Yeah, that's about where I jumped off.
Yeah, I watched a little bit after that, but it just, I don't know, it just wasn't the same. After
the lore gets weird.
After they decide to team up with the weird parasite aliens, and that's how it ends. It's okay. So what's the next bad guy? It's here's Vilgax again. Also, there's a space dragon.
Oh yeah, the Dagon.
The Dagon.
Now the space parasites. Are you talking about the hybrid?
I think that's what they're called. The little squid guys. The Flood from Halo. Yes.
No, the hybrid are the space Nazis. I think we're thinking of different entities.
Are they the white guys that throw a bunch of squids at people?
With the face huggers?
Yeah,
that's the hybrid.
Yeah. I remember most from that was Gwen's brother gets turned into one, and it was just okay, that happened, I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, I was thinking about that show. I think honestly, once they run out of Marvel characters to make movies about, I think they should make a honest to God Ben 10 blockbuster.
Yeah. Not Into the Swarm or any of the other ones that were
not
mid-tier.
The made for TV Cartoon Network ones where it's a real movie, man.
God.
Yeah, so I had the DVDs for the movies that they made up until Alien Swarm. I had Race Against Time, the animated one, Secret of the Omnitrix. That one is unironically amazing. And then I had Alien Swarm, and I remember so Race Against Time, I like to watch the behind the scenes stuff. And fun fact, that movie was actually directed by Bill from Bill and Ted. And anyway,
Shit, really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God,
I think I mentioned that in our Bill and Ted review.
Oh,
Well, anyway, they were talking about their mission with this movie, and Bill from Bill and Ted was yeah, I wanted to make a movie that the whole family could watch. It's not just a little kids show anymore. And it's I appreciate the sentiment of that, but you're not gonna watch this movie without at least one child present, right? It's like the Chuck E. Cheese rule, but for movies.
Yeah, you can enjoy it, but you have to have a kid.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not a fault of the movie itself or anything. It's like,
It's just the
SpongeBob has a
series.
lot of SpongeBob has a lot of like adult humor in it, but you don't watch it unless you have a kid with you that wants to watch it, or you watched it as a kid and you want to like feel nostalgic.
I watch SpongeBob for the story.
I watch it for the sexual tension between SpongeBob and Sandy.
SpongeBob and Squidward. Oh, no. That's the wrong ship there, Alex. SpongeBob and Squidward is the OTP.
Okay, this might
They're
be
like
a record
brothers,
for
only closer.
this might be the record for quickest unrelated tangent, but there's this video that I saw that apparently is just being recommended to everyone. It's about SpongeBob.
Where's that?
And it's called Skin Theory.
What? Oh, I've seen. Okay, I haven't seen it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'll have it linked in the description. Not that I'll need to, because the YouTube algorithm just decided on a whim that this video about SpongeBob wearing people's skin made a year ago is suddenly the most relevant thing for everyone to watch.
It's concerning.
Like, I got it recommended to me. I watched maybe 10-15 minutes of it. I was like, I get where this is going. I appreciate it. I just don't want to watch an hour of it. But then a couple days later, didn't think much about it. Haley got recommended the same video. And she told me that,
hey,
like,
Alex, we got this weird video.
She told me that like the whole comment section is filled with people just saying like, I just got recommended this video.
Yeah. I got recommended it.
What does YouTube know that we don't? What are they warning us about?
Uses other people's skin. Isn't SpongeBob canonically asexual?
Probably.
This is the LGBT agenda.
Asexual as in like reproductive, or asexual as in like the orientation?
Both. He doesn't derive pleasure from it, but he still enacts it. Also, I have a lot of seeds in my mouth. Give me a moment.
I told you not to eat while we're recording.
I haven't eaten all day, Alex. I'm sorry.
This is your arc. Your arc is learning not to eat while we are recording the podcast.
Alex, I am a very obese person. You will not stop the hunger. But yeah, no, it was so weird though, because like there's been other videos like that where it's like, oh yeah, a lot of people were recommended this, but this one, it sounds like everyone's been recommended it.
Yeah, this like manifesto about a children's property
and skinning people.
No, another one though that I'm remembering. This one didn't like blow up, I don't think. Definitely not as much as the Skin Theory video, but there was this series of videos made by this girl on YouTube about Lazy Town. The famous show that gave Robbie Rotten his glorious debut into the public consciousness.
He was number one.
It was this whole video series about like the sinister undertones and like it was basically like a silly fan theory. It's like semi-ironic fan theory about like the inner workings of Lazy Town.
Oh,
and like how everything is secretly like being controlled by like the mayor, who was also the devil.
It's like how in Snowpiercer it's all just Charlie and the Chocolate Factories.
Exactly.
Amazing film. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Oh, I'm sorry, I said the wrong one. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because...
No. You had it right the first time. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is amazing.
We're gonna do this tangent, Alex. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, yes, has good music, but otherwise, no. Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is the perfect imagination of a child's wonder, and also the fear of being with Willy Wonka. That boat scene it perfectly encapsulates Willy Wonka's just like nightmarish demeanor that no one wants to talk about, but is always up front. That man is not sane.
Look, I see your point.
I
and
appreciate the lore of his dad being a dentist. However, I like it better when Willy Wonka is more presented like he never ages and probably was never born. He's always just been there.
No, I see what you're saying about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory being like, encapsulating like a child's imagination. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a very similar thing. Just instead of encapsulating a child's imagination, it encapsulates a child's fever dream.
Also, it implies in the original that the children died after their accidents.
And then in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, they experience a fate worse than death. It's all a matter of preference.
There's an entire factory over to Charlie and then runs away because he knows 4 kids died that day and there's going to be a couple of investigators knocking on that door.
Now, you tell me what you would rather have happen to you. Would you rather die and have it be over with? Or would you rather live with being like Elastigirl, but you can't turn off your powers and like permanently blue? And what were the other ones? What did the TV kid get?
One was a chocolate hybrid. The TV kid just got really tall. You know what? To be honest, career in basketball right there.
Did the TV kid? I thought he got shrunk.
No, he got shrunk, but they stretched him out on the taffy machine, remember?
Yeah, he was the one that got all like stretchy.
Yeah. No. The blueberry girl, I forget her name, Violet. She got all. I don't know how I remember there. It's Augustus, Violet, Veruca, and Mike TV. Mike TV got stretched out, but he had like normal bones still. Violet got squeezed and turned into like a really like elastic individual. Augustus became a human chocolate hybrid, and Veruca just got really filthy. Guess who got out lucky in that situation?
she just got dirty. That's seriously what happened.
She was sent down the garbage chute. Yeah, she came out, her and her father, and they're just covered in fish guts. Like, man, that was gross. Look over, there's fucking Mike TV walking with his 10-foot story ass.
You know what? That is white
eating
privilege.
His actual fingers because he's got an eating disorder, and now he is food.
That is white thin privilege.
Basically, to be honest, so out of every situation, the only character in my mind that got off the worst is Augustus, because he is literally half chocolate now. He is going to die no matter what happens.
He's like the snake eating his own tail.
Yeah, he's eating his fingers, but also, you know that as soon as he gets on an airplane, and it's going to be a hot airplane, he's going to die. He's going to fucking melt.
He has like a similar thing to like Frosty the Snowman, where like he just can't enjoy a sunny day.
He has to be cold. He has to be in a cold room all the time. And that's if he doesn't eat himself to death on the way there. So he could die. He's going to die no matter what. Either a bunch of children are going to beat him up and eat him, he's going to eat himself to death, or he's going to melt.
Now, see, that illustrates my point that in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the lesson is more poignant because fuck off phone. I forgot to put it on silent. I keep forgetting to do that. Anyway, the lessons that are learned in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory are a lot more poignant because the kids have to live with that shit. They're a walking cautionary tale. Don't fuck with the candy industry.
Oh my god.
See, like if you were gonna teach someone a lesson about fucking with things in your factory, would you just kill them? No, you got to make an example of them, because there's, for every one of those kids, there's 10 more snot-nosed little brats out just consuming your product without a care in the world that could someday infiltrate your factory just as these children did.
Yeah.
Now, would you kill these kids? No.
Yes.
You would make them experience a fate worse than death.
I thought the whole point was
and also being dirty.
That were bad. That's why they were punished. They had to watch their kids die.
Would you want to raise a stretchy child or a half chocolate child?
Well, hold on. Eat
Hold on.
himself to death.
I feel like that came off as a little. I'm just gonna say I don't want people to take that out of context.
I just realized what you said. Oh my God, Alex, no!
I'm gonna rephrase that a lot more delicately. All right, would you rather, or
God,
would you want to raise a child whose molecular structure is 50% similar to that of candy?
Would you like to raise a half chocolate child?
Oh, we're gonna get canceled for that.
Oh no! God damn it!
No, it's okay
Alex.
though. All right, I would like to issue a formal public apology for my words and actions.
Get the sad dog. Alex,
What?
pull out the sad dog. You need it. You need to get your sad dog. It's the only way to make people know you still have a human beating heart.
Jared, I don't have a sad dog. Don't you understand? We had to put it down just this morning.
Oh no!
Feel bad for me.
Man, I guess she really was the victim after all.
Anyway,
what were we talking about?
Originally, Ben 10 and the idea that they should make a movie, like a good blockbuster out of that franchise.
Hear me out. So, it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but no, I said that wrong. It's Ben 10, but all of the monsters are just the kids from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
So instead of turning into a badass 8-foot tall alien,
he turns into a really lanky white boy.
Can you explain how this makes it better?
Because you don't expect it. I just what's the word? I defied your expectations.
You subverted my expectations.
Applaud. I've subverted everyone's standards is what I've done. I just want to talk about, though, a lot of the aliens in Ben 10, they had a lot to do with, like, just one-trick ponies. It's like, yeah, they're all supposed to be, like, examples of, like, the prime of a civilization. But it's like, 4 arms. What's his best quality? He's got 4 good arms. That is all.
Well, he's also, like, super strong.
Yeah, he's got 4 strong arms. He's just a strong guy with 4 arms. What? He doesn't have any other qualities? What if he really was into poetry? Huh?
It's like, the whole jack of all trades thing.
Yeah, I know, but it's like...
Also, like, the aliens aren't individual personalities. They're all just...
Yeah, you are wrong there. I remember there was an episode. You remember how they had I forget his name, but there's the other rock guy.
Chromastone?
Chromastone, yeah, the Cyclops one. And then there's the crystal guy. What's his Diamond Head?
Yeah.
You remember how there's the good guy Diamond Head that helps him fight Vilgax in the movie?
His name is Tetrax, actually.
That's what it was, Tetrax. Okay, Tetrax comes back.
I almost said Tetris.
Like, you know how, like, in, I think it's Alien Force, Ben 10 gets his Omnitrix upgrade and he can use the other ones again, the old ones, and, like, some of them go missing, like Chromastone. Yeah. Fucking Tetrax comes in and murders Diamond Head and pulls out Chromastone from inside Diamond Head because Chromastone has been a separate entity this whole time. Also, you remember Big Chill? Apparently Big Chill's a female and, like, had a bunch of kids and no one knew about it. So that happened. Ben had to deal with that for a while.
Actually, I think
Big Chill
might be asexual.
Was a single mother.
Hold on.
Probably, but the point is, though, they have their own minds of their own thought processes. Like, Ghost Freak escaped the fucking Omnitrix. We don't talk about that. He literally just escaped. Motherfucker isn't in there anymore. You had to kill him 3 times. Didn't even call the Ghostbusters. Probably would have been more beneficial than, using lights. But yes.
I have done extensive research, skimming one forum about Ben 10, and results are inconclusive. I do not know if Big Chill is asexual.
All I know is Big Chill was able to have a whole shit ton of kids, and Ben had no idea that happened. And everyone was like, hey, Ben, why do you keep changing to Big Chill? He's like, I'm not. I'm changing to Diamond Head. It's like, no, you aren't. Also, you ate a guy's car with the guy still in it.
Yeah. No, the lore gets so weird once you get past a certain point in the show.
But it's like, I will never forget the moment when Tetrax comes in. Ben's like, hey, Tetrax, what's up? Grabs his arm, turns him into Diamond Head, then fucking kills Diamond Head. He brutalizes Diamond Head just to get to the one little red stone that's apparently Chroma Stone. And then, like, Chroma Stone becomes its own entity, and then he has to go to their planet because he's, like, the chosen one that's going to save all of them, and he dies so he can keep the planet alive and shit. I remember this episode a lot because it was such a mindfuck.
I did not realize what I was getting myself into when I said that they're not their own individual personalities.
Absolutely. Again, Ghost Freak fucking escaped the Omnitrix. He didn't want to be there, so he left.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up, Ghost Freak.
It's like,
I thought that was, just off the top of my head, I thought that was the one example of that happening.
No, it is not. It happens a lot for some reason.
You know what I don't get?
Yeah. What?
You might know about this bit of lore, but I do not. I think in Ultimate Alien, definitely in Omniverse, they bring back Ghost Freak as a transformation.
What?
Okay, so
Why
you don't have any information on this.
Hold on, let me look that up. Is he still evil? Is he still
I have
bad
no
guy?
idea.
Why is he back? Like, here's Ghost Freak, guys. You remember him? Yeah, didn't he try to kill everyone all the time, constantly? Ghost Freak's like Hitler on a whole different level.
I guess if Hitler was an alien and a ghost and didn't have anything in common with regular Hitler.
Hey, they want to kill everyone. They're basically the same. No, but like, I remember that one of my favorite episodes is when Ghost Freak teams up with Ben Wolf and Ben Mummy. They really need better names for those two characters.
Yeah, they give them better names in Omniverse, I believe. Yeah, I always thought that was very not just lazy, but also weird. Like, they just gave up after a certain point. Like, yeah, this one's Heat Blast. Like, even starting out, like Heat Blast, Wild Mutt, Forearms, the names are very lazy.
To be honest, though, like, besides Forearms, they were all pretty good. Heat Blast, that's top tier. That, you know what he's gonna do. That's like Human Torch levels of cool.
Well, yeah, they're either like puns or like just badass sounding. But then you get to like Ben Mummy, Ben Wolf.
Oh,
just exceptionally stupid names.
God, I remember the Ben Wolf episode. That was weird.
Yeah. I was watching a video earlier.
Oh my God,
while
the
I was
new
waiting
design is... Yeah.
What, the new design for Ghost Freak?
Ben Wolf. Yeah, both of them. The new design for Ghost Freak, it kind of slaps in a way. Like, I really like how like cool. Thin he is. The new villain design though it's just his original but purple.
Yeah.
But no, Ben Wolf though I hate that. I like the original one more. The original one looks more weird and alien.
You should send it to me.
Yeah, here, I'll send you both. Oh shit, I forgot about the weird like fucking Ben Mummy, Ben Wolf monster thing.
Oh, do you remember when he got the DNA of the basically like Frankenstein guy?
Yeah.
And he had a transformation named Ben
That was
Victor.
also another weird character. Yeah,
That's just their names lazily slapped together. That's
He's
just a guy's name.
Ben Victor. He just the guy's still inside him. He just absorbed that man.
It's not even like it's somehow less creative than Ben Wolf. Cause at least that's like Ben plus what the thing looks like. But that's just his name and another dude's name put together.
The difference between Victor and Ben Victor is that Ben Victor just has a mullet. That's amazing. Yeah. I love it. It's horrible. What the fuck ever happened to Victor? Didn't he die like in the the station or whatever he was on?
Actually, I just remembered he was brought back in Ultimate Alien.
Really? When? I don't remember.
I don't remember what the it was I think it was the one where they brought back Heat Blast. It was in the Return of Heat Blast DVD, which I had, which is just filled with Fever Dream episodes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they bring back Victor for that one. The king of some vaguely Eastern European nation.
He's king of Translia.
He's like he's so like super old and decrepit, and he's about to die, and his son, the prince, is like trying to like he's just waiting for his father to die so he can take over as king. But then the old man king is like, nuh-uh, and then he transfers his body with the help of the Ultimatrix, I think, into the body of Victor.
Fuck yeah.
And I know it feels like I left out details that make it make sense. No, I did not. It makes as much sense as I just described.
It's perfect, Ben 10. Remember Vulcanus? The tiny little guy and the giant robot?
Oh, Vulcanus, yeah.
Oh, I said that wrong, didn't I? Oops. He's great.
Yeah. That's one of the characters, though, where I am pretty sure they introduced him in the original show and then brought him back for Alien Force. But like they just make him so like completely different. Might as well be a new character.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of them.
Like in the first series, he's basically like a hulking like unintelligent like monster, basically. Like I don't think he talks ever. I could be mistaken. But then they in Alien Force, they just make him a crime lord.
Yeah. Oh, you remember the X guys, the bounty hunters? Was it like 6'6" and 7'7"?
Oh yeah, yeah.
God, those guys are fucking weird. Lit. I love them.
But no, back to Vulcanus though. Do you remember the episode where they basically just do a Planet Hulk and they chain Ben and what? I don't think it's Vulcanus, but it's like one of Vulcanus's species.
Yeah.
And they have to like fight Kevin that episode.
It was yeah.
Was that Vulcanus?
God damn it. I think it was. I know that they have a lot of weird team ups where like Ben teams up with his previous villains. Like, didn't they have one where him and Vilgax team up?
I think they team up in at some point in Alien Force.
Yeah,
because
I know
Vilgax becomes like the ruler of his home planet, and there's someone like terrorizing his planet.
Vilgax has had the worst like character design process. He goes from being a cool guy to a really cool looking guy to just garbage. Like it's like the Terminator movies where the first one's cool, the second one is fucking amazing, and then everything after that is just absolute garbage, and I hate it. It's like,
yeah,
the first two versions of Vilgax will always be my favorite Vilgax. The second Vilgax is the best Vilgax. Everything else is it's just not the same.
I did not like it when they brought him back and basically did an overhaul on his character. Everything from like the
Yeah.
design to the personality to even the voice.
Like,
where nothing about him feels like it's the same as the original show.
yeah, God, I'm looking at some of the designs that they had over the years for Vilgax. When was he part of the Forever Knights? Because he's wearing Forever Knight armor in this picture, and I'm really confused.
I don't think he was ever part. Is it Alien Force / Ultimate Alien Vilgax, or is it original series?
It's it looks like it's the Alien Force. Maybe, actually I think this is a fan edit. Never mind.
Okay.
However, they do have the giant squid one, which sucks dick.
Oh yeah, when he becomes his final form.
Yeah, that was dumb. They have the Left 4 Dead 2 Charger version. I don't remember that, but I do vaguely remember that happening.
The what?
He has a giant arm.
Oh yeah, that's the future Vilgax, I believe.
Yeah, I do. Like I said, I remember. I don't really remember watching that, but I do vaguely remember that apparently happening. Like he just has a weird arm for some reason, and then like he comes back and he's got like a weird like suit of armor and he's fighting everyone, and that was dumb. Classic Vilgax is still my favorite. Every other version just doesn't work. Like especially the new one where it's just Vilgax like 2.0, which is my favorite version, but without the mask, which really, really tied it all together.
From the reboot?
I think it's the reboot. The image is Vilgax, and he's got like glowy bits all over him, and he looks like the second version, but
yeah,
I think this is from the reboot. Yeah, he just doesn't. I don't know. Without the mask, it just doesn't have the same feeling. He doesn't look as intimidating. It's like Bane if Bane never wore the mask.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't mind what they did with Vilgax in the reboot because it's different and it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, but still, I don't know. Like his design is just such a fucking nice design. Like especially the 2.0 one, which is what they based it off of, which is understandable because that shit slaps. He looks amazing like that. But I just feel like having his mouth exposed, just I don't know.
Yeah.
Like seeing him with a mouth just doesn't look right. He needs to have some weird.
I feel like
face
the mask adds
thing.
like a degree of like mystery.
Yeah, like even if it's just a rebreather. And then there's this version where he's got like some weird crown shit and stuff. That feels like a.
Is he in a red outfit?
He's in like a light red, pinkish kind of looking outfit.
Okay, I think we're looking at the same picture. Yeah, I think that's his Omniverse design.
Not a fan. I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of most of the Omniverse redesigns, to be honest.
Vilgax should never wear a hat. It just does not work for him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot I was saying earlier. I was watching a video where it's like the entire story, like the timeline of Ben 10, and it's like illustrated and stuff. I'll have it linked in the description. It's from the Ink Tank, really cool YouTube channel. Right. And we were talking about this like a week ago, maybe, when we were on the call with Ian. But anyway, like seeing the whole story in chronological order with all the flashbacks from like Ultimate Alien and Omniverse when the lore got weird, like having that mixed in with like the original story is such a trip.
Hold on, I want to send you some stuff real quick because I was looking through the pictures. No, it's nothing sexual, but it is absolutely a fucking mindfuck. So here's the picture I first saw.
What? Okay, so for the listeners,
sequel.
It's some fan art of 10-year-old Ben Tennyson, and he has his arm lopped off.
And then here's the sequel that came right after it. And to be honest, I love it.
It's Original series, bigger Vilgax with Ben's severed arm. Jesus fucking Christ.
If Vilgax was just like 10% more of a bad guy, he probably would have won. That's probably how he would have done it. Just like, hey, Ben.
Isn't that what he did, though? Isn't that, or that's what he was going to do, right?
That's his plan.
When he captured him?
Then he stopped. Like,
well, because he was interrupted. Because his family, because Ben's family came to rescue him.
Okay, but you know what? If Vilgax just like, he has this goal to get the Omnitrix and stuff. It's like, don't, like, you're right there. Just do it. Just get it real quick, grab it, then run.
Yeah.
Or fight, or whatever you're going to do. It's like, it's right there. What are you going to worry about? Him bleeding out? You don't need to bandage him up. Why would you care? You have the Omnitrix now. Just steal his DNA.
Maybe he wants to torture him. Actually, if he took Ben's DNA, then he wouldn't turn into a 10-year-old.
He turned into Vil Ben.
he would turn into Vilgax Ben. If Ben turned into Vilgax, he would be Ben Vilgax. If Vilgax turned into Ben, it would be Vilgax Ben. It's just your name plus the name of the guy you're turning into.
Vilgax Ben. Also, here's a good meme that was also in this photo group for some reason.
The Virgin Alien Force Vilgax. Planet is taken over by Ghost Freak. Steals the power of 10 heroes and still gets regularly beaten. Gets beaten by Diamond Head in seconds. Has to team up with Ben to defeat Ghost Freak. Generic voice. That's another thing that I don't like. Gets knocked over by Kevin.
Yeah.
Gets knocked over by Kevin. Allows Ben to activate the Omnitrix self-destruct. The Chad original series Vilgax survives his ship being blown up. Super intimidating voice. Escapes the null void. Defeats mutated Kevin. Defeats Ben with ease. Nearly shatters Diamond Head. Throws Ben through multiple buildings. Unmoved by Accelerate. Running into him full speed. Leaps over buildings. Yep, very true.
Is great. Oh, god damn it.
I might go back to using custom thumbnails just to use the Chad original series Vilgax for the thumbnail.
Hold on. Did Ben 10 get a Vilgax DNA at some point?
In the reboot, that's what I was alluding to earlier, what they did with the character. They made Vilgax, or at least his species, a transformation for Ben, and his name is Gax. And I think Vilgax is still a villain.
Someone did an edit of the original with it.
The one that you sent, that's a fan edit.
Yeah, I know. I love that, though. That looks amazing.
I always thought, though, like, what would happen if
Ben turned into Vilgax?
Yeah, well, because, like,
that'd be actually kind of awesome. It's like the two of them are fighting, and it's like equal fucking strength at that point.
Yeah, well, because, like, it might not even be equal, but anyway, like, the idea is that, like, if an alien touches the Omnitrix, then it gets a sample of its DNA, right? Like, that's what happened with Ben Wolf.
Hold on. That's a good point. Isn't Kevin and Gwen both aliens?
Yeah.
Can Ben just turn into Kevin?
He could, but they would never do that in the show because then
they're cowards.
Then that creates redundancies, meaning their characters would be fucking useless.
Imagine this. Okay, so Kevin touches the Omnitrix. Ben turns into like heat blast. Kevin absorbs some of that power. Ben then turns into Kevin. Ben touches Kevin. They both have the same power now in the most redundant way possible. It's like now they both are just Kevin with fireballs. Hell yeah.
But anyway, though, the Vilgax versus Ben Vilgax fight.
That'd be awesome.
One, it's more complicated, though, than them just being equally matched, because the way that the Omnitrix works is that it takes a sample of an alien's DNA, and then it basically runs that DNA through like a simulation of like, you know,
Planet Hulk.
harshest battle world possible, you know, to like
Planet Hulk.
yeah, and it basically synthesizes like the ultimate Planet Hulk version of that species.
What if Ben does that and he just turns into actual Vilgax? Like he just loses himself. He's like, I'm Vilgax now.
So the only way that Vilgax would be as powerful as or more powerful than Ben in that situation is if he is the pinnacle of his species, or if he has some kind of like augmentation making him more more powerful than his species can get.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it though, that is what Vilgax is. He's like a super soldier version of those squid people, of the Davy Joneses of that galaxy.
But even then, a super soldier is just the like Captain America is a super soldier, but he's only the strongest guy. Like if Ben turned into a human, he would turn into the equivalent of Captain America.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's like Vilgax does have like cybernetic augmentations. You saw how fucking blown up he was. He had to get rebuilt from the ground up. Like they got stem cells and robot arms and shit. Motherfucker can take a round to the face now.
I don't know. Either way, I just want to. I want to see that fight now, and I don't want to see like a screw attack version of it either. I want to see a real canon one written by Man of Action. I have no respect. I have no respect for those screw attack.
The newbies.
I have no respect for those like who would win in a fight videos.
Oh yeah,
I mean the screw attack ones.
Done on what's popular.
The screw attack ones. I don't think those are like the worst ones, but there's this other channel. I think it's called Bat in the Sun, where they do a similar thing where it's like a live action, like who would win in a fight kind of thing. Hold on.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So their videos, from what I remember, are structured like they have the premise, you know, Batman versus Deadpool, for example. And they go to like they go to a con and they interview people, or they interview people that like work on the channel, and it's like who would win in a fight, and it's like I think Batman would win because he's really cool, or I think Deadpool would win because he's really cool, and then they just make the video based on whoever gets the most votes.
It's
I have
stupid.
no respect.
They don't even think about power levels. Who would win in a fight, Vilgax or Davy Jones? Now I know this is going off topic a bit, but we're gonna have this discussion. Who would win a fight? Vilgax 2.0 or Davy Jones? Here's
Vilgax 2.0.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing though. Vilgax 2.0 will still have to find the heart of Davy Jones.
I think he could do it.
That's the only way to kill Davy Jones.
I think he could do it.
Davy Jones can teleport onto other people's ships and stuff as long as like they're in the water or near the water or something. Like he can go there. He just can't step on dry land.
You're assuming that Vilgax would be using a ship on the water.
His ship has like water in it though, like the fucking healing tubes and shit. All Davy Jones has to do is like teleport into one of those, break it open, and then next thing you know, the floor is covered in water.
Okay, humans are like 60% water or whatever the percentage is. Humans are mostly water.
Never do that.
So are you cowards? But are you saying that
he could?
In canon, Davy Jones could just teleport onto a human?
He could teleport.
You know what? Fuck it. Soil has a lot of water in it. That's how plants grow.
Yeah. I think the stipulation is that's not dry land, salt water or something. However, Disney are cowards and they never thought about it. Davy Jones, I want to see him teleport into a person and have them explode into a pile of viscera. Davy Jones just shows up. I want to kill Jack Sparrow. Wait a second, he's 70% water.
But it's not salt water. So is that canon, or is that just something that you're making up?
No, I'm not making up. He can only step foot in water. I think it's salt water though. Let me check.
Okay, that's what I'm asking about, the salt water thing.
Davy Jones saltwater ?
And can Davy Jones die? Like,
if you stab his heart, yes, he will die. But you
If you
have
stab
to
his heart.
stab the heart. Yeah. And if you stab
okay,
the heart,
but what if you just beat him up?
Jones. No, he can't die. He will. He
Can he be injured?
No. Well, kinda. It's weird. Like, you can cut off his tentacles, but that doesn't stop him. Like,
Is it like a healing factor thing?
I don't really know, to be honest, because they cut off some of his tentacles in the third movie, and he doesn't grow them back. But they also show him taking a sword right through the chest and just walking it off.
Okay.
So I'm confused.
So the question isn't who would win in a fight, Vilgax or Davy Jones. The question is, can Vilgax find Davy Jones's heart? That's the question.
Yeah,
and I think he can.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's got a spaceship and all, but like, at the same time, though, you're looking for a chest on like the middle of an island that technically doesn't exist because the company removed it from all the maps because it went fucking bad. It was like, then you have to find it, and you can't just like blow up the island because the fucking chest is like magic or some shit. So that thing would probably survive.
So in this hypothetical situation, Vilgax is coming to Earth. He knows about Davy Jones.
And
how much does he know?
We'll say he knows the same amount that Lord Beckett did, and that's that Davy Jones is the Phantom Pirate of the Sea. He's immortal. The only way to kill him is to either blow up his heart. No, actually, that's the only way. You have to destroy his heart, or you could control him by just keeping his heart hostage.
Okay.
So he has to deal with ghost pirates, the Kraken, and 16th century guns. So really, that's not going to be a bunch of a problem. It's just close quarters combat.
Yeah. So
because none of them can die. Like, that's the thing. Like, like there's the hermit crab.
Can Davy Jones be captured?
No,
because
he can slide through the bars and shit like water. Like, there's a scene in the third movie where he's talking to.
Well, hey, who said anything about bars?
That's a good point. Well, okay, what room will he be kept in?
I mean, Vilgax has a ton of resources. Theoretically, Vilgax could try a number of configurations, but off the top of my head, I'm guessing like a dry, sealed room. And just, once Davy Jones tries to fuck with you, grab him by the tentacles, throw him in that room. What's he gonna do? Then you just go about your merry way, slap away some ghost pirates, kill the Kraken because Vilgax's true form is the Kraken, and then just look around for Davy Jones's heart for a little bit. Worst case scenario, you just gotta cut your losses, go home, and you have Davy Jones prisoner.
Davy Jones, though, if he can see water, he can teleport to it. I don't know if it's salt water or not, though. I know
if he can see the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what he did in.
Do you think this room has windows?
I mean, it might not, but what about condensation? Because it's a spaceship. Those things do build up a lot of like moisture.
It's a dry room, like I mentioned. It's a dry, windowless room.
How chrome is the floor?
How chrome is it?
Yeah. Also, are you going to be feeding Davy Jones?
Fuck no. He can't die. What does he need to eat for?
Pleasure.
What, you feed your prisoners? You feed the guy you're trying to kill in this theoretical situation?
Okay. This is what Vilgax needs to do. Put Davy Jones in a room with a single pipe organ. He will be occupied for the entire time. It doesn't even need to be dry. Just put him in a room with a pipe organ. You don't even need to put guards outside. He will just sit there and he will play the fuck out of that shit. He'll put bangers that your whole crew will enjoy. You don't even need to kill him. Just keep him there. You've won.
So in this situation, the answer to who wins in a fight, Vilgax or Davy Jones, the answer is Davy Jones just plays an organ.
Yeah.
How did you manage to sabotage your own question?
How did I? Well, That's the thing. I'm kind of retarded.
Anyway, I was mentioning before the timeline, how weird it is.
Yeah.
So
after they stab the heart of Davy Jones, William Turner becomes the captain of the Flying Dutchman. I'm sorry. That was stupid. Okay. Back to Ben 10.
Yeah, when you lay out the timeline like in perfect chronological order,
insane.
It starts first of all with the Big Bang, because the bad guy from Omniverse has the Annihilarg, and he's trying to wipe out all of existence or whatever. I didn't watch it. And then this time traveling hero and his sidekick kick his ass and then create the universe. Cut to 13 billion years later, Azimuth is born and shit, and then cut to 1770, and George Washington teams up with this time traveling hero and his sidekick to kill this guy that was there at the beginning of time. And so this young time traveling hero teams up with George Washington and fights the bad guy from Omniverse plus Vilgax, who is also there. Ben 10 kicks both of their asses. Oh, sorry. I mean, this young time traveling hero kicks both of their asses, and Vilgax is inspired by his power, and he wants that for himself. And that kickstarts his search for the Omnitrix, which will not be invented for another 300 years.
Wait. So Vilgax didn't follow them through time. He was already there during the Revolutionary War?
I think the bad guy from Omniverse like reached out to him or sent him like a signal or whatever. But yeah.
What the fuck is Vilgax doing in the Revolutionary War?
I don't think he was already there.
No, Alex. Did they explain it at all in the show/movie?
I didn't watch I didn't watch any of the episodes where this takes place.
I'm gonna assume that they did not, because in my mind, what's going on is that Vilgax is just kind of there hanging out, and like King George is like, "Hey, can you help me stop these rebels?" He's like, "Sure, fam, I'll have to go do it."
I want this version of
Davy Jones. I need your help,
Jared. Yeah. I want this version of Hamilton.
Hamilton singing about banks or some shit. I don't know. I never saw it. And then fucking Davy Jones breaks open the door. I'm Vilgax, conqueror of planets, destroyer of worlds. Hamilton.
I want the version where Hamilton and Vilgax get into a rap battle, and I also want the version where Hamilton starts rapping and Vilgax just kills him.
Shoots him with like a laser gun. This is the atomizer 9000.
And then
yeah, well,
anyway, after
this is the story.
This is the story all about how
oh my God. Instead of Aaron Burr killing Hamilton, it's Vilgax just executing him. Vilgax is Aaron Burr. It makes so much sense now.
After this time traveling hero kicks their asses, George Washington like severs the connection to Vilgax's ship.
What?
There's this like there's like a line.
Like a tree? Cut down.
I think it's like the transport, like that, basically like the elevator to Vilgax's ship. George Washington cuts that down, and that inspires the story of George Washington and the cherry tree. Ben 10 lore gets weird.
They don't ever mention George Washington fighting a fucking alien warlord. However, he cut down a cherry tree that day.
Yeah. No, yeah, and then it's like 200 years later in 1962, the Plumbers, which was founded by George Washington, fuse like they merge with the like intergalactic police force, and then That's when the
I
plumbers
forgot
become.
that's what.
Yeah, it's when they become as
I
big as they
forgot that
are.
Hey, no, he's not that fat.
What?
You're trying to say that Uncle Max is fat. You're saying that that's how big. That's no, he's not that big. Funny. All right, continue.
But also in 1952, that's when Professor Paradox gets his powers. I just want to talk a little bit about that character.
Wait, so
I love Professor
Paradox
Paradox
is
so
in
much.
the new one too. My favorite part is how his initial
Wait,
start
what do you
is like
mean?
horrifyingly depressing. What?
What do you mean he's in the new one?
I thought he was. I thought this was a reboot.
No, this is the original timeline. This is the original series, Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, and Omniverse.
Okay, I never saw Omniverse, so that's probably where this fucking time traveling bullshit's coming from.
Yeah. I love Professor Paradox so much. I just love like the
he's great.
The like I don't know, like high concept sci-fi goofiness that he brings.
He's like the Doctor if the Doctor was just a tad less like aggressive with his, goofiness.
Yeah.
It's like, I've seen the end of time, Ben 10. Oh, okay. I've seen all of us die.
I love just the
Which is
see you
like
yesterday energy.
See you yesterday, Ben 10. What does that even mean? You'll know later.
In the Return of Heat Blast DVD, one of the episodes is it's a Professor Paradox team up, and then at the end of the episode, he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, beware old George." Toodaloo.
Beware old George. What the fuck does that mean?
It's like foreshadowing for a later episode. But yeah, just that
Is
energy, I love
when
it.
they go back in fucking time?
No, it's this immortal forever night guy. It's a whole thing.
Is old George King George?
No.
Okay.
He's like a knight from like the 1500s.
All right.
And he's immortal.
At what point does keep going with the timeline. You're probably going to answer that later. So just keep with your timeline.
All right.
Professor Paradox.
Yep. So Professor Paradox, then the plumbers, the early 2000s. That's when Kevin goes to New York. No, that's when he goes to New York because they find him there in the original series.
Yeah.
2006. That's where the original series takes place. The Omnitrix gets sent to Earth. Vilgax goes after it. The whole series plays out. Oh, also, original Ben and Gwen from the original series go forward 20 years, meet their future selves. Then Ben goes to 2012 to aid his older self in a fight against who do they fight? Hold on. Oh, they fight Ultimate Agrigor. Then Ben goes back. His memory gets like partially wiped to avoid any kind of time paradoxes. 2007 happens. Kevin goes through it. The young Ben stuff from Omniverse happens. Then 2011, that's where Alien Force takes place. I'll try to skim through it a bit faster. 2012, that's when Ultimate Alien takes place. Just looking for the next like time jump. So yeah, 2012. That's when all of Omniverse takes place too. Let's see, 2032. What's that? Oh, that 2032. That's the like Ben 10,000 stuff. And then it just then it goes back to the 1770s because that's when they go back in time.
Yep. Now, at what point do they fight a space dragon?
The space dragon? Are you talking about the Dagon?
Yeah.
That's at the end of Ultimate Alien.
That's at the end of Ultimate Alien? Okay. What the fuck was the point of that again?
What, the Dagon?
Yeah.
It was Forever Knight's story arc.
Okay. What's not being shown right now is as Alex is talking, I'm filling the chat with a bunch of weird shit.
Yeah, you sent a picture of the 5 years later comic. That's by the guy that runs the Ink Tank, the channel that uploaded the timeline video.
Okay, what the fuck is Danny Phantom doing in it?
It's a fan fiction Ben 10 Danny Phantom crossover.
So ghosts are just real now, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, might as well.
So if you look
right?
above it, if you look above it though a little bit, you'll see someone's fan art from DeviantArt of Benderman.
Yep. Ben 10 Slenderman. I'm surprised it's not Ben Slenderman.
It's Slender Ben. I think
that's what he would call it though.
Slender Ben.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it right now. The worst part about this 5 years later comic is that Ben has a goatee.
Yeah, that's unforgivable, to be honest.
They gave him a goatee, but not a handlebar mustache to go with it. Bastard. However, I gotta say the designs they gave the dudes, they kind of slap for this 5 years later thing. I like how I like how Forearms has got like some samurai shit going on there.
Yeah, send it to the chat.
Here we go. It looks like they just did the classic ones. I'm not seeing any of the newer ones. Oh no, yep, here they are. You know, here's just an image of the classics, it looks like.
Yeah, the Ghost Freak design, normal. That's it looks like these are primarily like Omniverse based. Yeah. Except for Stinkfly. Stinkfly is no, they redesigned him for the reboot. Never mind. God, I hate the reboot like redesigns.
Upgrade. Yeah, the reboots suck. Look at Upgrade's reboot and look at original Upgrade. How dare they fuck up my boy? Upgrade is always my favorite one, and I fucking hate what they did to him. It's horrible.
Are you talking about the reboot redesign or the Ultimate Alien redesign?
The reboot redesign where they turn Upgrade into a fucking purple Goliath. Hold on. Let me show you. I'll pull up.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, that's awful.
It's horrible. Downright shameful is what it is. It just doesn't. Like, look at Upgrade and you tell me that needed to be changed. Look at this boy. Look at him. Look at him. He's great.
I know.
Not for real, though. If you want me to absolutely love a character you design, just make it look just like Upgrade. It's just that
commit plagiarism.
Commit plagiarism. He just looks so huggable, but also like not friendly at all. And I just love that. And the new one, it's like, hey, you know those cosmonauts? Let's make one.
I just remembered, because I saw a picture on Google Images that reminded me of it. I just remembered in, I think, Omniverse, they bring in like the concept of like alternate dimensions.
Oh God.
And they have like a few alternate versions of Ben that like are just so weird. Like there's one where he's just like a zombie, I think.
Okay, hold on. Ben 10 alternate universe. What the hell?
Yeah, look up the alternate Bens. Scroll past the fan art.
Okay, I was gonna ask, what the fuck is all this shit? I don't know where it actually starts. Is it the ones where there's like a guy with anime hair, or is that fan art? Because it looks like fan art.
Hold on, I'm sending you the link to the wiki with all the different versions. Yeah, there's Ben Zaro, where it's just zombie Ben 10.
What the fuck? This has turned from let's talk about a Ben 10 movie to just Ben 10 appreciation and degradation post.
Yeah.
Ben 20. What
Ben
does he
23? That's what I'm looking at right now.
Bad Ben and Mad Ben.
Yeah,
Ben
get it? Like Mad Max.
Nega Ben. He's just a goth kid.
Oh, and then Eon. I forgot they retconned Eon to be just an alternate Ben 10.
What?
Also, is Race Against Time canon? I wanted to talk about that earlier. Uh, is that movie canon? Because there is no
I
conclusive answer.
I haven't seen
Where
Race
does it
Against
fit
Time.
in within the timeline? What's the deal with Eon? It's alluded to in Ultimate Alien, but they only are like, did that? Like, they don't remember the movie happening. It's presented as if it's like maybe their past, but also maybe an alternate dimension.
I'm not equipped to deal with this, Alex. I'm sorry. I don't understand.
I'm
The
looking it up.
alien is Ben. My favorite one is the one Ben that's just titled Rat, and it's a live action kid.
Yeah, it's Race Against Time.
Oh,
I just remembered Race Against Time shouldn't be canon. Like Race Against Time and the episode they did where they brought back Eon, they can't both be canon because in Race Against Time, it's clearly
yeah, live
presented
action
that
movies aren't
Eon is.
fuck.
It's
Fuck.
clearly
I was gonna say the
presented that
live action aren't canon, but then I remember that in the Swarm, Ben gets a new alien that is in
Nanomech,
the
yeah.
show after that. Yeah,
And there's
I guess
also
that
they
one
also
just
do
isn't
a
canon.
they also did a an episode where they bring back the girl from Alien Swarm and the nanites. But anyway, the Race Against Time at the like at the climax of the movie, Ben transforms into Eon's species, which is, you know, clearly presented to be like some kind of like Time Lord kind of thing. But yeah, Ben transforms
Yeah.
into a version of Eon, which would mean that he's a different species. But in Ultimate Alien, they present Eon as just an alternate universe Ben 10.
Yeah, it's getting more confusing.
The lore gets so convoluted. Anyway, I
do have to say-
have the Race Against Time wiki page up. I'm searching to see if it's canon.
I'm looking at Race Against Time.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say this right now. Serious like Tron villain vibes. I have not seen this movie before.
You haven't seen Race Against Time?
I may have seen commercials for it, like the dead, like decomposing old man or whatever that they showed at one point.
Eon, or not Eon, the one
guy
plumber
Eon
guy.
fucking kills. Yeah,
That was actually that guy was played by Alex Winter, who was the director and Bill from Bill and Ted.
Damn.
Yeah,
I
I
like
have
how
Race Against
Ben's
Time on my Plex server.
I love how Ben's transformation, because I'm seeing it right now, is just he turns into an older version of himself with that guy's clothes.
It's just a guy. Yeah,
It's just another dude. But no, like this Eon version, like he looks like he could probably be one of like the evil like Nazi guys from fucking Tron Legacy. One of the bad guys. One of Clue's henchmen. Like he just screams that. Also, he reminds me of the Emperor robot from the new Battlefront game.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should watch it. Just, you know,
Just to
as a
understand.
yeah,
They're called
as like a
Sentinels, by the way. The red robots with the Emperor's face, with a dead man's face in them.
yeah. Yeah, you should watch it. I think it's enjoyable. I haven't watched it recently, so I don't know how well it holds up. But I mean, any Ben 10 property is worth watching, I think.
Yeah.
It's just like Star Wars, a very robust, interesting universe.
It's a very robust universe, but it's also very fucking confusing at the same time.
Yeah.
Speaking about Star Wars, though, it's like I never noticed this until I started looking it up, because I went down a rabbit hole on the Emperor droid. There's a lot of fucking like things the Empire has that we never see in the original trilogy that is just everywhere now since they added it in. Like, you remember the KD robots from Rogue One? Like the security droids, like the guys that look like they'll wreck your shit in a matter of seconds.
The tall one where they have like a
Yeah.
hacked one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have those in Fallen Order.
They're fucking everywhere now. I just saw like 4 things where it's like, here they are again. They're in this now. It's like, where the fuck were they before? Why are there so many now?
They weren't invented when the original trilogy was being filmed.
I know, but it's like now all of a sudden it's like okay, did the Empire just only use half its does not even half, but like a quarter of its military? Because it feels like they only use the Navy in those movies now, because there's so much more to it now. They have shore troopers and like these like weird mechanized tundra troopers and shit like that, and these big ass robots, and it's like fucking. I was playing fucking VR chat with Ian last night, and I found like a robot general from one of them apparently, and I'm just even more confused. It's like how many parts of the Empire were just like on call the entire time during the Galactic Civil War? It's like, no. We don't need the Marines. We don't need our army. And we don't need our special forces. We'll only use the Navy.
Yeah.
That's all we need, boys. Let's go. Yeah.
It's a good thing you bring that up, because we almost went a whole episode without referencing Star Wars.
I know. That's why I'm here, Alex. Again, though, it's like I understand wanting to fill out the Star Wars universe more and add more things to it, but for the love of God, don't add so much that starts to become so confusing when you look at the original and you just see a lack of everything. It's like they invaded a single ship using one of the weakest types of Star Destroyers that only had on board mass-produced TIE fighters, and the only soldiers that they ever deployed were scout troopers and generic infantrymen. Most of their stuff is the Navy shit. Like even the First Order showcases everything they sell merchandise for. at least they have their full army on. Like you see them.
Yeah.
But it's like in the extended universe, it's like there's so much stuff we don't see. It's like
anyway, Ben 10.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I feel like we should follow through on the original premise, which is like the idea of having a Ben 10 blockbuster. Yeah, I figure we can close this out with like a fan pitch for like our ideal Ben 10 full theatrical blockbuster.
Like cast Tom Holland as Ben.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's already been photoshops of that. Now, do you want when in the timeline do you want this to take place?
I'm going to say,
do you want this to be original series, Alien Force, or Ultimate Alien? And we're not doing Omniverse because I don't like the redesigns. I have a grudge against that show for just making everything confusing and the redesigns.
Okay. We could just say it's its own thing at first, and if it gets popular, we'll say it's in the original timeline. What we could have is like just like a Ben.
Well, what I mean is what era?
Oh, what era?
Yeah.
Well, preferably the original timeline, but like
that's what I was thinking.
The new shit if we make it nowadays, just because like continuity and shit.
You know what, we can say that it's not even canon, so we can have more creative freedom with the story.
Yeah. So what I'd want then is just Ben 10. Like here's an idea. Ben 10. It's like normal. There's no origin story. Like maybe they'll have like a brief rundown. It's like my name is Ben 10, and this is how my life was flipped
Spider-Verse style.
Down. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It has to be like a one-off thing. Like it can't be like an origin story.
Yeah, it has to be like a fun one-off thing. We could have it.
Yeah, because that would be like that would just weigh it down too much.
It's a classic like Vilgax getting like one of his lieutenants to go do the dirty work for him. Shit, he's like, deploy this machine to fight him, or like
Ideally, the feel of it would be like a regular episode, just higher scale, maybe.
Like make it
just make it a feature film.
Maybe have Vilgax like actually decide to like deploy a military force on the planet, like to try and like do something. I don't know. Like have him like have his goal being like he's trying to like take over the Earth to find Ben or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So he's like laying insurgencies in specific areas or something. He's like putting up his bases and shit, and Ben's got to go and knock him down. And like it's a whole like hour-long movie because that's all he's doing. He's going around the planet fucking Vilgax up. And like he like Vilgax is in like the last one. They get in a fight, but Vilgax is like, I'll get you next time, Ben. And then Ben's like, okay. And then he leaves.
So casting
movie.
Yeah. Casting though, we can't have Tom Holland in the role if it's original series era. Unless you just want to say that Tom Holland can play a 10-year-old.
Okay, we could have it be that it's Vilgax returning then. Unless we want to have the one of the kids from Stranger Things there. If so, if we do the kids from Stranger Things, either Finn Wolfhard or the kid that plays Will. Probably more the kid that plays Will.
Hold on. Let me get the cast of Stranger Things up so I know what you're talking about.
They might be older now. It's been a while since
Fuck it, let's just have Millie Bobby Brown in the role of Ben.
No, she can be Gwen.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, see? So get Will from Stranger Things.
Yeah, he looks like he would do a good job.
Yeah, Noah Schrapp.
I don't know, I really like the idea of Tom Holland. We might have to make this Alien Force era.
Yeah, but if we do Alien Force era, then we'd have to get the guy that plays Steve as Kevin.
The guy that plays Steve?
Steve
from Stranger Things?
From Stranger Things also, yeah.
He looks like he would be a good Kevin.
Yeah, he's got that chin. But I was saying though, it's like if we do it like original, like I don't want it an Alien Force one because I still want Vilgax in there because Vilgax is the classic villain. What's the classic villain of Alien Force? The hybrid who like
it changes.
I mean, you see, it's like that's the difficult part. You could have the Forever Knights again.
I don't like what they did with the Forever Knights.
I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool up until like it just
well,
got
they make
really
them
weird.
They like Flanderize the Forever Knights in Alien Force and Ultimate Alien.
Like the original,
it goes from this mysterious like cult to basically just fumbling cosplayers.
Yeah, later on, but like in the first episode when you're introduced to the new Forever Knights, they still have that.
Yeah,
like,
in the first episode, and then after that, it goes off the rails.
Yeah. Now I see what you're getting at. I don't think after the first episode it completely falls apart. I still think they still have that presence there, but it's when they start introducing like their leaders and shit, and it just starts like, you just at the end you expect them to fight a giant space dragon. Oh, I'm sorry, a Dagon.
Yeah, it's the
different
Dagon.
How it just doesn't have an R in it. It's still a fucking dragon. They still have a knight go out to kill it, and he dies immediately. But if we do it in Alien Force, we'd have to figure out a better villain for it. We'd have to create our own probably, or we could just bring Vilgax back.
I like the idea of Vilgax returning, but it can't be like Alien Force era Vilgax. Like, since this isn't a canon story, like this is an Elseworld kind of thing, I think it should just be original series Vilgax, just a bit older. And because the guy's like 1,000 years old. What's 5 years to him? But yeah, like the last we saw of him in the original series was him getting thrown into space by Waybig at the end of Secret of the Omnitrix.
I forget. Does 6-6 die? No, not 6. It's 7-7 that's in that one. Does 7-7 die at that point, or is he still alive?
No, 7-7 I think is introduced in Alien Force.
Okay, so it must be 6-6.
6-6 dies, I believe, in Secret of the Omnitrix, maybe. I know he's in it. He gets sucked into space, but he might not die? Question mark.
Yeah, I just want to see.
I don't know, jury's still out on that.
Because like we could bring 6-6 back in as like the Boba Fett,
Yeah, as like a side villain.
Yeah, it's like Vilgax's like partner or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck, we could bring both him and 7-7 in if we want to be,
No.
dumb about it.
No, that's exactly. Yeah, we would be dumb about it if we did that. Because you can't have both of. That's like having two Boba Fetts.
I mean, that's what the Mandalorian's doing.
No, there's the Mandalorian, and he encounters a guy in Boba Fett's armor. Then it's teased that Boba Fett is still alive.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're going to be at odds with each other. They're not going to be working together.
I forgot that there's
And
a
even
part
if they
where-
were, they're very distinct characters. 6-6 and 7-7 is just the sequel to 6-6.
You're not wrong.
7-7 is the guy that they brought in because they couldn't bring in 6-6 because he died or something.
Oh, actually, 7-7 and 8-8 are both in. They
There's
work
an 8-8.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I don't like where this is going. I don't like what they did with the
8-8
lore.
is the female one. Hold on.
I bet this has got to be an Omniverse thing.
Yeah, it is an Omniverse, actually. 8-8 was included.
You know what? Fuck Omniverse.
Omniverse is weird, but in Vilgax Must Croak, 8-8 was hired by the Incursians along with 6-6 and 7-7 to kill Vilgax. They were all killed, however. I guess they died. Still, I mean, we can use the characters though and use them as like Vilgax's special elite squad, because that's basically what he used fucking 6-6 as. He was like special like hunter. Like,
well, hold on.
They don't really have a personality beyond just being a badass like villain to fight. It's like the Razak from Aragon. It's like they don't have a personality. They're supposed to be intimidating enforcers.
Yeah. Well,
having all three of them would be kind of neat though, just so like we have more meat for the grinder.
Maybe. I don't know. I was just thinking though, there's this guy he's on YouTube, he's on Instagram, Captain Yang Studios. He makes hold on, I gotta see if I'm thinking of the right guy. There's a Ben 10 fan film that I remember seeing like a trailer for that looked really cool. Just bear with me for a second.
Okay. I typed in Captain Yang and I don't know what I found. It's like kids skiing. Alex, what the fuck did you tell me to look at?
It's Captain Yang Studios, all one word on YouTube. But hold on.
Oh.
Okay, so I
found it.
Yeah, Captain Yang Studios. There's a blooper reel for Ben 10's Last Laugh. Anyway, I think this is the guy that's making the fan film. If not, I'll have a correction in the description. Anyway, I digress. That's just background information. But basically, if we were to make this hypothetical Ben 10 movie, wouldn't it be interesting if we took a page from their playbook and we use Zombozo as a villain?
That would be kind of fun. Using old villains that sometimes come back and sometimes don't.
Yeah. Now Zombozo gets a little
fucking dead.
No, Zombozo comes back in as late as Omniverse. He doesn't die.
Really?
He blows up in the original series, but I guess he gets put back together. I don't know. I don't even fully understand what Zombozo is, but wouldn't it be cool though if in this hypothetical Ben 10 movie, Zombozo was the villain and we just go full Joker with how like serious we take him as a character and as a villain?
Alex, I'm sorry, but his name is Zombozo. He can never be a serious villain.
Okay, look at half of Batman's villains. Look at all of Spider-Man's villains. They have silly, stupid-ass names.
There's a reason why Mysterio in the new movie was so hammed up and was such a teeny dick wimp like throughout the whole thing. Like Beck is supposed to be like this wimpy piece of shit who is like a coward at heart.
Okay, look.
That's why his name is Mysterio. It's terrible.
Most superhero and supervillain names are dumb as shit. Okay, Zombozo, I'd say, is more intimidating than some villain names. All that it takes is exposure for the name to not sound weird. If you get enough people saying it enough times, the name does not sound weird. That's why most of Ant-Man's marketing was just Paul Rudd and what's his name just saying Ant-Man. Just so people got used to the name.
I mean, you're not wrong.
His name is Ant-Man. That's dumb as shit. So anyway, we make Zombozo the villain, and we take him seriously. Like, we take him as seriously as like the Arkham games did with Joker, where he's like this this clown, menacing figure, and he does all kinds of fucked up shit. And Ben has to like fight him. The end. That's the plot. That's the entire plot.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to go on a rant about this, but I just got a Google.
I think you do.
This is important. Are you familiar with the mysterious monolith that appeared in Utah earlier this week?
Oh yeah, it disappeared. I already saw that.
It
Old
reappeared
news.
just now. It just
reappeared.
reappeared.
It reappeared. Oh, come on.
It's in Romania now.
Come on. All right, I'm looking this up. I remember when I originally saw that story about the monolith in Utah, and I was like, I was just waking up, scrolling through my notifications, looking at all the messages and news stories and stuff, and scrolling through my news feed and everything, and I just saw there's a mysterious monolith that just appeared in the desert in Utah. And you know how fucked up 2020 is? 2020 is so fucked up that I saw that and just scrolled right past it like it was a regular Tuesday.
It fucking teleported. Okay. What
I swear, it's gotta be like an art student pranking us. Like,
I hope it's an art student. What if it's a fucking alien that's just like, fuck it, let's just fuck with them. They'll never figure it out.
Like, okay, I feel like it's an art student or like a psychology experiment.
It's the liberal media.
But I know it's aliens.
No, it's
fucking aliens. It's Time Lords are real, I guess.
You sound so defeated by that. It's aliens, I guess. Fuck it.
You know what?
Doesn't matter anymore. Aliens are real now.
That's a 2020 mood. It's aliens. Fuck it.
Happened earlier this year. Fucking the military announced that they have footage of UFOs and showed some.
Yeah, we were like, fuck it. It's aliens. We get it. Okay, this year will never end. We're caught in a time loop. We are all made to suffer. Okay, we're in a simulation, and who cares?
Oh, 2020 has been
It's
a horrible
aliens.
year, but it's been so eye-opening for the paranormal world.
No, you know how in Spider-Man Homecoming or Spider-Man Far From Home, they have JB Smoove as the one like teacher on the trip, and he's like, you know what? It's witches. It's witches. As a man of science, I believe it's witches. That's all of us right now. That's me, at least, at this point in the year. Fuck it. It's witches.
Fuck it. Didn't witches try to put a curse on Donald Trump?
Probably.
Man.
I mean, I could see just Gen Z putting a curse on Donald Trump. So, I think we can close out the show now. No, all right. Let's close out our pitch for the movie. So, Zombozo is the villain. Yay or nay?
I kind of want Vilgax. Why don't we just have Vilgax, the three bounty hunters, and Zombozo?
Well, do you want it to be classic or do you want it to be subversive?
Let's make it be interesting. Let's have all of them in it. Every villain, every single Ben 10 villain. He has to fight them all.
We just do the negative 10 again.
At the end of the movie, Ben 10 fucking dies.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
This is the canonical end. Vilgax just goes through time, collects every villain he's ever fought, and then just like, hey, we just decided we're going to kill a 10-year-old, but you're an adult now, so I guess it's okay. And he just shoots him in the head. Execution style.
How about we make a franchise out of this? All right. This is our compromise. Movie number Ben 1.
Grim Dark.
Movie number 1. Ben 10 fights Vilgax. It's the original series era. you can fill in whatever else, add in 6 as a side villain, as like a Boba Fett, whatever. And then movie number 2, and we have it like the Harry Potter series where we follow the actors as they age. So we get a 10-year-old actor to play Ben, and ideally we get a good actor that doesn't get a drug addiction, because we want him for the sequel. Sequel is 5 years later, both in the canon timeline and in our timeline, because that is the amount of time it takes to scrape up enough funding to make the sequel. All right. Now the sequel, it's a bit darker. People are a bit more, a bit older. The audience is older. That's when we introduce Zombozo as like a killer clown / like serial rapist, because we're trying really hard to make it edgy.
Okay, maybe not make him a serial rapist. Keep him as a serial killer though, and maybe also have him team up with some of like the supernatural villains too.
Yeah, like
add in like Ben Wolf and Ghost Freak and shit.
Yeah, maybe we can have like a Ghost Freak in the post-credit stinger for the first movie.
Actually, an idea I thought of, instead of like, we could have Ghost Freak as as how they defeat Zombozo, but have him team up with the other two, because like the plot twist is they're helping Dr. Victor with something. Like, what was Victor's initial plan in this series? I forgot.
I have no idea. Something with the moon, maybe. I don't know.
But like, here's my thought.
It involved space.
At the end of it,
hold on. Ghost Freak teams up with Ben, or Ben uses Ghost Freak to...
No, Ghost Freak is still with Ben at this point.
So Ghost Freak is still one of his transformations.
Yeah.
And he uses Ghost Freak to defeat Zombozo.
Mm-hmm. And like, we can say that does something to Ghost Freak. But at the end of it, though, we tease Dr. Victor's return as the Victor Stein. Or Franken Victor, whatever they called him. And the next movie...
I think we need to trademark this.
The next movie will be the Victor Stein doing his shit and stuff. And it's going to be Ghost Freak's going to escape the Omnitrix. It's going to be that story arc, kinda. It's going to be a mashup of those two put together. So it's Ghost Freak teaming up with Dr. Victor for his whole planet with the moon.
All right, so do we still do the credit stinger then?
With Ghost Freak, or with...
Ghost Freak at the end. So first movie, Vilgax, classic story. Second movie, we deal with Zombozo. Ghost Freak is used to defeat him at the end, kind of like in the show. And then at the end of the credits for that movie, we tease Ghost Freak escaping from the Omnitrix, right? And then we open the third movie with Ghost Freak as his own villainous entity.
I want to do two teases there with the return of Victor for the second movie, and also the awakening of Ghost Freak also for the next movie. For the third movie, I mean, because this is going to be the third one. But it's the second one in this story arc. And it's going to be Victor as Victor Stein with the other two monsters, and then Ghost Freak's going to escape the Omnitrix. We can have like a cool like PG horror kind of thing for that, like what they did in Far From Home. And then have Ghost Freak escape. Goes teams up with them because he's got something that they need, and he wants their help stopping Ben. And then like they like Ben goes and stops them and shit. At the very end, after that, we have a tease of Vilgax coming back with a bigger armada or something. And like the last movie, like the next movie, are we gonna have 4 movies? Or do you want to have more?
Trilogy
like,
works.
Building up Vilgax more.
Because like unlimited movies.
Unlimited movies.
Our franchise, our Ben 10, our hypothetical Ben 10 franchise transcends the concept of numbers.
We're just combining story arcs at this point. It's so easy to make a movie when you have all of the material already there. You just have to put it together somehow.
It's so easy to make a hypothetical movie when the story is all laid out for you. There's multiple series of lore to build off of. Also, you don't have to make a movie, so you don't have to worry about profiting. We don't even have to break even because no one's investing money because it's not even a real movie. That's how easy this is.
Oh my god. Alex, no. But like, okay, we'll choose like the return of Vilgax or something. Or maybe if we're gonna make it
so first movie, just so I'm keeping up with what you're saying. First movie
Yeah,
is a
Vilgax
classic
goes
Vilgax
first
movie. Yep, and then
He's got,
second
like,
one
elite
is
shit.
Zombozo. The second movie is
After
Zombozo.
Mhm.
What's that?
Then after the Zombozo movie, we're gonna have the ghost guys. The
So Ghost Freak and Victor team up in the third movie.
Yep.
All right, so then the
And,
fourth movie is the return of Vilgax.
is going to be one of the returns of Vilgax. I figure we could probably have a second one later on, like the final penultimate.
Every
like,
trilogy,
Vilgax.
every trilogy starts with Vilgax.
No, the last one's going to end with Vilgax. But like, Vilgax returns.
Well,
Like,
because
he's
the
building up
Vilgax
an
returns, that's the fourth movie, so that's the start of the second
Yeah.
trilogy. So every
That is
trilogy
true.
starts with Vilgax, right?
Yeah, we could have for like the third and final trilogy, Vilgax is the main villain throughout the entire runtime. He just takes over Earth and just kind of fucks everything up.
So-
And it's Ben trying to save it.
All right, here's my plan. All right, so
All right.
at the end of the second trilogy, we kill off Vilgax, right? He explodes with his ship, and then at the end of the next trilogy, with no buildup, we bring him back as like a ghost in a clone body or something, and then he's like,
Alex, no.
Ben, you
Alex,
can't find
no.
me. Oh no, you found me. Turns out this was my plan all along. Now strike me down in hatred so I can take over your body or something.
No. God damn it.
And that's how we tie it back to Star Wars.
Again. We already did that this episode. We also have to introduce some of the other characters. So like every movie, Ben has to team up with another person. And at the last ending, it's like the last 3 movies will be like Infinity War, where he teams up with everyone. Like the last 2 movies will be like Infinity War. Whereas, like,
So hold on, how do we handle Kevin? So in the first movie, we got Ben, Gwen, and Grandpa Max. That's the nuclear team. And then in the second movie, Max fucks off and does whatever, like in Alien Force. So it's Ben and Gwen. And then how do we handle the introduction of Kevin?
I figured in the fourth movie we could. I'm getting to that point. In the fourth movie, we could introduce the Forever Knights alongside with Vilgax's return, like the original Forever Knights. So not all like the ones you don't like. And then like in the fifth movie, we could have Kevin like come in as like a prisoner of the Forever Knights and shit. And like the whole movie is he's at odds.
So
with
this
Ben
is the second movie of the second trilogy.
Yeah, this is the second.
We are finally introducing Kevin.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit later on, so we can.
Hold on, don't you think the fans will have backlash to this?
They probably will have backlash to all of it, Alex. We're combining so many different story arcs. Hell, we have Zombozo teaming up with Ben Wolf. I don't think people would like that in the slightest, but it's what's going to have to be done for it to work. Yeah, I said we could have like Ben Zombozo, Ben Wolf, and like Mummy Ben teaming up with Victor in the second movie, just so like they could solve something, and then like in the next movie, Dr. Victor's.
Now I don't like that at all.
I know you don't like that.
The wolf that Ben gets Ben Wolf from, like that, he wasn't evil or anything, right?
No, he kind of did just team up with Mummy Ben. He does team up with the Mummy at the when Dr. Victor and Ghost Freak team up. Like those 4 do team up at one point in the original trilogy. In the original series, I'm sorry. Oh my god.
I don't even remember what the Mummy's deal was, so I can't even comment on that.
They're just trying to start helping Victor because he's like, "Hey, I'll help you guys" or something. I don't remember. We'll just get rid of them. They don't exist in the series.
Yeah, fuck them.
It'll just be Dr. Victor needs help and Zombozo is providing him like bodies or souls or whatever.
So we bring back Zombozo for the third movie?
We could, but we'll probably kill him off.
No, see, I like the I like the idea of a definitive end for him in the second movie.
Okay, we could kill him off in the second movie and have Dr. Victor escape so he can become the Frankenstein monster in the third one.
Okay.
But we'll introduce Kevin a little later in the series. And we'll have like a whole story arc with him and like Ben being against each other. Like the Forever Knights are gonna basically be like the background villains for a little bit until probably like the last movie in this trilogy. We're gonna like have them like come in full force, like how they did at the end of the original series. But what I want to do with that though is like have this like
Okay, so wait, what movie are we introducing the Forever Knights in? The third movie?
they're gonna be introduced in the fourth movie.
The fourth movie.
They're gonna be
Okay.
introduced in the fourth movie as like a secondary antagonist force against Vilgax. And they're probably gonna be like defeated by him, like near the like it's like in the middle point. We're gonna have them get like really fucked up and be like, okay, we have to pull back, we have to regroup and strategize. And that's when Ben comes in with like the plumbers or something and stops Vilgax again. And then they're gonna be teased as like coming back, and we're probably gonna tease Kevin at that point. And then Kevin's gonna like escape from them, and like that whole plot line is it's Kevin and Ben like at odds with each other for like most
I
of
don't know.
it.
I think that's too late to introduce him. I think he needs to be the young Kevin should be introduced or teased or whatever in the first movie. Bring him in the second movie, just like in like they did in Alien Force, where they brought him back. Because if you wait too long to introduce him, it's just gonna feel weird.
Okay, we could do this in the second movie. He could be like a henchman for Zombozo or something, because he's gonna be a kid at the time, a kid with like weird powers. He could be like,
well, in the second movie, he'll be 16, a year older than Ben and Gwen.
All right. Well, I mean, still it would fit. He's just older, so
that's when we introduce him.
Yeah, we could introduce him in the second movie, and have him be like captured or something, like halfway through it. Maybe we'll introduce like someone who works for the Forever Knights, but it's like not really clear. Like it's teasing them kind of. It's like an Easter egg. Like we'll put their logo on a briefcase that he's carrying or something. And like they make a deal with Victor to give him the shit he wants. He's like, okay, you can take the boy.
Okay, wait, hold on. So I just had this idea. What if we have Kevin as like a secondary villain in the first movie?
We could.
Like in his mutated form, Vilgax could be like using him as a way to like seize the Omnitrix. Like he finds this kid and he's like, hey, hey Osmosian, and he's like, you want a place to stay, and I can house you and feed you on my ship. Just got to do one thing for me. And then he makes him go and encounter Ben because he's like tracking him, I guess. And he makes Kevin go and like absorb. Yeah, he makes Kevin like absorb the power from the Omnitrix. Maybe he's trying to use Kevin as a vessel to like make his own Omnitrix, or he just wants a monster to use to fight Ben. But yeah, he uses Kevin as this mutated monster with all of Ben's abilities, and in a way to like fight him. And then the fight with Vilgax is like the Act 3 climax.
Yeah, I still want us though to have like the 6, 6, 7, 7, and 8, 8 in there as like the elite squad, and just like probably kill one or two of them off. We could probably kill 7, 7, and 8, 8 off, and just have 6, 6 be there for like a little while until he dies off later on.
I will begrudgingly allow that, but I will make it known that I do not like the idea of including all three of them in the same movie at the same time.
Here's the thing: there's like it wouldn't really be a problem because they're supposed to be like, well, instead of being bounty hunters, we'll rewrite them as like Vilgax's like elite squadron. So they're like just like tactical, like silent characters. Like
they could be like a private army.
Yeah, we could do that. Like they're just 3 guys.
And I mean, they're mercenaries. Just keep them as mercenaries, but like really elite mercenaries.
Yeah. Maybe have Vilgax make a comment when one of them comes back dead. Well, I guess I don't have to pay him that, or like I'll double your guys' pay if you get the kid, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I want to flesh out my idea for Kevin's like character arc. So,
yeah,
in the first movie, he's used by Vilgax as this hulking monster.
This is not a podcast anymore. I just want you all to say that, to know that we are now in production of the Ben 10 Ultimate series.
Second movie, he's used by Zombozo and maybe a similar to a similar extent, or maybe he's just a hired hand. But at this point, he doesn't absorb energy, much like in the show. He doesn't absorb energy anymore because he knows that like fucks him up. So he sticks to just absorbing like matter, like metal, wood, that kind of thing. Keep it more in line with the original series, and to avoid copying the first movie with just having him absorb all of the aliens.
No,
but maybe he gets captured, like you said, by Ben and Gwen, and they're like, "Look, man, you don't need to be doing this. Like, you have a place with us. Like, help us, and we will actually like treat you like a human being." So he joins them, and they work together. Now, you were saying?
Okay, that ruins my fifth movie then, because like the whole point of the fifth movie was conflict with Kevin. That was literally the working title, is conflict with Kevin, all spelled with a K.
But, the with is also spelled with a K. No, I like that idea though. We can still use that.
With Kevin.
That's what the KKK stands for. Yeah, we can still use the conflict with Kevin arc, because they do that in Ultimate Alien.
Yeah. But we have to try and make it to where like it would be reasonable for Kevin to not want to be with them after they save him from a life of crime, literally. So we have to like do something that like seems kind of bad. So maybe they capture him in the previous movie, The Forever Knights, and then like because Ben and Gwen don't immediately save him, he's got like a grudge against them. So like he's kind of.
Well, I think we can take inspiration from the show and do a similar thing to what they did in Ultimate Alien, where he had to absorb the power from the Ultimatrix. That made him go insane, and then he left, and he's just fucking around doing shit.
Yeah, but that's
I do think it is very important. I do think it is very important that he does team up with them during the second movie, because any later and it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I see what you mean now. Looking back on it,
like
I do want there to be a conflict with Kevin, and I do want us to start fleshing out the.
Like, imagine if they introduced Han Solo in Return of the Jedi. He's a core character.
That's a good point. That's a very, very valid point. But yeah, no, ow. Okay, I just hit my microphone in my face. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, no, I see what you mean now. Yeah, we can do that with Kevin. But I do want to like I don't know, maybe make the Forever Knights like partially responsible for whatever fucks up Kevin in the fifth movie. Just so like, we can use them as like the hey Kevin, it wasn't us, it was them the whole time. And Kevin's like, oh, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna kill them now. Because it's a movie.
So
we only have 2 hours.
The Forever Knights are like the people that have Kevin on their side at the beginning of the first movie, or is this like some point in the future?
It's gonna be later on. Like in the
okay,
future.
later on.
Okay, like and during the fourth movie, Vilgax strikes back.
Vilgax is fighting the Forever Knights, and like while they're fighting, like maybe the Forever Knights like quote unquote team up with Team Tennyson, but in all actuality they just wanted to try to abduct Ben, but they couldn't do that. So we could have it to where like Kevin like absorbs some of Ben's power, like he does, like he turns into a monster, like like what you're thinking, and then they kidnap him, and then like Ben and Gwen are like, we'll have to go and get him, but we have to stop Vilgax first. And like they solve that plot point, and then like it's like Empire Strikes Back, where it's like they're looking into the stars, like now we have to figure out where they took Kevin, and that's when the next movie happens.
Yeah, and we could build up the idea that there is some uneasiness in their like agreement. Yeah, their friendship.
In their agreement. It is basically just an agreement. Because, like, we can have Kevin also in the third movie helping them out, because the third movie is basically just finishing off that, and we could have Kevin be the one to, like, defeat Victor, because Victor is basically going to be the guy that fucks him over. We could have that happen, where it's like, we don't need you anymore, Kevin, and then he pushes him off a building or some shit.
God, we are onto something with this.
Yeah, we have a really good universe going. I like the idea also of like Victor, instead of just being a scientist, we can make him like some like millionaire like playboy businessman, like Green Goblin kind of thing. Where
Like
he's
an
like
Elon Musk type,
yeah,
but even more unhinged.
yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like we can recreate the characters a bit to have them more like they're
Like the
different, but they
goofiness of
still
Elon
have
Musk combined with the
like
villainousness of Jeff Bezos, but
yeah,
like also combine their wealth.
yeah. So he's just the richest man alive, and that's how he can not die and becomes a Frankenstein monster. Of course, at
Yeah,
that
money
point,
is the
though,
cure to
it's like,
death.
he's no longer in the spotlight. He's now taking a reclusive thing. We'll have people comment on that, saying it's strange. That way, when, like, it's revealed, like, the full form is like, oh, it's so much cooler now because it was teased the whole fucking movie.
Here's an interesting idea though for Victor's like public persona,
Yeah.
because like we have to make him a hulking monster at some point,
Yeah.
whether he becomes one or he just is one. I'm thinking, what if he's been like becoming this hulking monster? He can be like his final form at the beginning of the movie even.
Hmm.
But we have for his public persona, what if he like hired a body double to just go out and be a playboy?
Yeah, that would actually be kind of fun. But,
Yeah. And we can say that like all along, every time you see him in public, it's his body double.
yeah, that'd be kind of neat. We
Like he
should do
decided from a
something,
young
though.
age that he was just going to be fucked up like a Frankenstein. So he just has another person pretend to be him.
What if, like, the other person? What if they're like? Okay, here's an idea I'm stealing from Warhammer. What if it's like they're twins, and one of them like turns himself into a giant monster, and the other one just wants to be like the front man and like the rich guy. So they make an agreement on it, where like one of them's making like these like experimental like technology and shit, and the other one's selling it. So it's like, they're both Victor, but like, they're different
That's a really good
people.
idea.
Yeah.
Here's a third take.
Okay.
What if we take some inspiration from the Return of Heat Blast episode, where he goes to the vaguely Eastern European country,
Oh yeah, like
the
the
body snatching
foreigners and
thing.
shit.
What if we have this, the billionaire, playboy version of Victor? That's just, that's who he is, right? But when he is not going out and being a billionaire, he is like constructing this body, this hulking Frankenstein body that he then transfers his essence into.
You know what? That could also be a really good thing. I like that one too. It's like he's like, oh, my super weapon's nearly complete. Or it could be like, we're gonna steal this from Astro Boy, or like they try to design like this like amazing super soldier, but he's dying, so the last thing he has to do is like put his own consciousness into it, and that's how he turns into the monster.
That sounds awesome. So,
Yeah.
to recap, so first movie, classic Ben 10 adventure fighting Vilgax. Second movie, 5 years later, Alien Force era. We bring in Kevin as a teammate. They fight Zombozo. Third movie, that's the Victor one. Fourth movie,
Yeah.
Return of Vilgax. And then did
Kevin
we lay out a
turns
fifth
into
and sixth
monster.
movie?
The fifth one is Kevin as a monster, along with Forever Knights just being dickheads about shit. We're gonna end that with like Kevin going back to normal and like them defeating the Forever Knights again. And in the sixth movie, I didn't have anything yet. I was thinking we could have that be like the final part for the Forever Knights arc, where it's like they come back in full force but get their shit rocked anyways because they're the Forever Knights.
Maybe we can do the Driscoll arc.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what's the Driscoll arc again? I'm trying to remember. Is that the
Driscoll was an ex plumber that became like the Forever Knight.
Was this the one where they attack Ben's like Max's hideout kind of thing, like the big base?
This is
the
-10 episode. Yeah, Ben 10 versus the -10.
Yes, I think I know what you're talking about now. Like,
so yeah, we introduced Driscoll do his whole thing.
Yeah.
That could be a good 6th movie.
We'll introduce him in the 5th movie as like their leader and stuff. And like I don't know, like didn't he have like a horrible scarred face or some shit?
Maybe.
Fuck it. If
But
he
I
does,
like the idea that he like
did,
comes out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, I don't want to just come out of nowhere because that might seem, bad. But we could have like, his backstory is not there until like the 6th movie. We'll have Max come back. Like they figure out like Max like instead of being stuck in the no dimension thing, we could have him like just be like secretly fighting against the Forever Knights this whole time with the other plumbers and like, hey Ben, we heard that you're fucking with these guys. We're here to help you now.
Well, Driscoll could be like kind of like a Thanos in a sense, where like he's pulling the strings and he kind of gets teased in the other movies.
Yeah,
but then we
that's what I
finally
was
see
thinking.
him in the 6th movie.
Yeah. And we have to give him cool looking like armor and shit though. He has to stand out against the other guys.
Oh yeah.
Like he has to look
maybe a
fucking
mech
badass.
suit.
Maybe just not a mech suit, but like power armor definitely. Something to make him look chunkier and more threatening. Like the Ironmonger suit, but scaled down a bit.
Yeah, like the Fallout 4 power armor. That's a great way of scaling it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe not as like, I guess angular though, smoother though, so it looks more like futuristic-y kind of night looking shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we'll have the 6th movie be Driscoll coming in, and like that's that whole story arc. And at the end of that, we're to tease Vilgax coming back.
We have 2 Thanoses. Vilgax is the obvious Thanos. Then he fucks off for a bit. Then Driscoll is the next Thanos, and then it's revealed that all along Vilgax was the ultimate Thanos.
Yes.
All right, I think that's a good place to close off the show. We just hit the 2-hour mark on the recording.
Just warned though, we will be making a 3rd trilogy.
The 3rd trilogy can be Ben 10,000. Then that opens up all kinds of lore.
Oh yeah, no, because that's never really used. Oh fuck yeah!
We can just make all kinds of shit up.
Alex, we did it! We finally got to the point where we can make our own original shit.
Yes. Now we can start stealing from other properties.
Took was 6
Fuck
hours
it.
worth
Ben
of
10,000 is canon in the Marvel
12.
universe.
Ben 10,000's in
Ben 10,000 teams up with Iron Man and Spider-Man and the rest of the Avengers and the X-Men.
Ben 10,000
you
goes
know
into
how,
Fortnite and he steals the fucking banana guy's DNA.
Ben 10,000 takes place in Fortnite entirely.
No! Oh god! What have we done?
Okay, do you know the Parks and Rec like Patton Oswalt like filibuster video?
Yeah.
That's it's just gonna be like that energy.
Oh my god.
That's the energy that this episode has.
We did it, Reddit.
In conclusion, fuck it, aliens.
Fuck the aliens. Now, if we want to be really bizarre, I remember because I watched that episode during like this is the series finale of this Ben 10 thing. So they had a special like sneak peek, special features kind of thing they did after it, where one of the things that they talked about was how some kid made their own Ben 10 opening and shit. It was like some kid in like Venezuela or something like that. But anyway, in the title thing, it's like the normal, like he's showcasing the aliens and there's the music playing. At one point, he turns into a goldfish. Like it's not a monster; it's just a goldfish with a hat on.
Yeah,
that needs to be one of the aliens we use. I'm just saying.
So. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening to another episode of Bold of You to Say. If this is your first time here,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Thank
we
you
are not
for listening.
Usually like this.
No, we're usually like this, just about Star Wars.
That's a good point.
Subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode of Bold of You to Say. if you disagreed with anything we said in today's show, or if you have your own ideas, you can leave them in the comments down below if you're listening on YouTube, or you can hit us up on social media. Our Twitter will be linked in the description down below.
I'm imagining now, though, someone just furiously disagreeing with our movie pitches for the Ben 10 cinematic universe. Like, no! You need to add Ben Wolf back into the series!
Share this episode.
Character.
Share the show with a friend if you think they'll like it. If you personally didn't like today's show, still share it with everyone anyway. Chances are someone you know will be into it. And with that, this has been bold of you to say. Signing off. We still need a catchphrase. Good night, everyone.
I have 11,000 in Venezuela.